We are currently on our way to do a small plumbing repair. We've got a ball valve that is sucking in air, and sometimes it causes the pump to not be able to prime up and work correctly. All right, so we've got everything we need. We've got our hacksaw, got our pipe cutter here, got our ball valve that we'll be switching out. We've got some sandpaper. We've got our primer and glue. We've got some pieces in here that we're going to use. And all right, so we're here. How do we know there's a leak here? Again, the pump is not priming. It means it's not getting any water. Sometimes it does, but I'm going to show you how I 100% am able to tell that the issue is right here. Let's turn on the pump. Listen to this really quickly. I'm going to stop the pump in 3, 2, 1. That's air escaping there. We're getting back pressure, and that's what we're hearing here. Grab my hacksaw, my blade. All right, so let's go ahead and cut. There's that. Let's cut this side as well. All right, so this is kind of the plan here, except obviously this Street 90 is not going to work because it's not long enough to actually glue to the bottom. So we're either going to have to use this sweep here, which there's not enough space for that either. So what I'm actually going to decide to go with is I'm going to cut this all the way flush with this fitting here, and then I'm going to stick this all the way inside, glue this all the way in, and see how much space we have left. All right, so we're flush now. I'm gonna go ahead and glue, prime up our pipes. All right, so there goes our primer here. Primer cleans everything up as well as soften the pipe for us. Now we'll go ahead and glue. The primer also, besides softening the pipe up, actually lets the thing here, wrong way. Okay, that's what happens when you try to sound like a professional. It doesn't work out. But anyways, I'm just gonna clean this glue off, and then we'll prime and glue the correct side. So I put more primer on the other pipe as well, and now we primed this one, glued it as well. I'm gonna put a little bit more glue in there just to make sure we get a good joint. Push all the way in. Now, as I was saying, the primer used with the glue helps the pipes actually weld together rather than just glue together. So it's a big difference there. You actually join those two pieces of plastic together. All right, so we put primer on this side, put primer on this side. We grab our glue, prime this up, glue that, and now we do this here. All right, so now looking at this will not work because we don't have the space for this to fit correctly unless we cut some of this off. Our Street 90 will not work either because to push it in, it won't give us enough. So in order to make this work, we'll be using a regular 90, and it should give us enough play here to make this happen. But in order to make this happen, I do have to extend this pipe a little bit more, so that's what we'll do first. Some primer here. One thing I've always been curious about is if you actually need to remove the paint prior to priming and gluing. And I went to a small seminar where there was a guy who had plumbed his whole life for just doing pools. He 100% recommended that you remove all paint from it, because otherwise you're not really gluing the PVC, you're just gluing PVC to paint, and that's bound to fail sooner or later. So that's what we're doing now. Now we'll prime our coupler here. Might as well prime both sides. I'm gonna put glue, glue this. Now we'll go ahead and glue this here. And now we'll just have to figure the exact length that we want to put this pipe here and cut, so that we can do what I kind of have told you guys. So we'll put our pipe here where we want it, our fitting here, I'm sorry, where we want it. Now we just got to figure out this in between space here. So in order for this to sit correctly, we need about a little shy of 5 inches, 4 3/4, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, we'll do 4 3/4. Honestly, it's a little bit more, but if we cut shorter, we're safer than cutting too much. So we'll just kind of get where we need to here, start cutting. All right, now all we need to do is to go ahead and put a piece of pipe here that lets us join both of these pieces together. So we just need about this much where my fingers are to make that happen. All right, this is a piece that's going to sit in between this and that. Go ahead and prime this side. Now we glue without trying to make a big mess. Glue both of these together. Hold for a little bit. You always hold for a bit. The can says it itself, 20 to 30 seconds, so that the pipe doesn't push back out. You don't always see push out, but sometimes you do, and when you see that, you just hold the pipe for a bit. Now we can kind of see how our pipe is going to sit here. It's going to be just perfect. So the way I'm going to go about this is that I'm actually going to glue both of these at the same time, the bottom and this top part at the same time, because I won't have much movement. So I want to make sure that I have flexibility. So I'm going to do 2 joints at once. So right now I'm just gluing this other side of the pipe here, and be ready to watch me struggle. Hopefully I don't struggle too bad. But yeah, sometimes these jobs can go sideways pretty easily. And maybe it's just lack of experience. I don't have that much experience, but you know, I have enough to get around. So all right, so we're gonna go ahead and prime everything up. Get this side, get this side, get this side here, get this side here. Make sure it's all good. Now we're gonna go ahead and glue everything, and this is the moment of truth. More glue, more glue, more glue. All right, this is it. Get this. There we go. Perfect. And that's what we wanted. So I just hold it again for a little bit, but here's another job well done. We're all done here, and then we're gonna put everything up and we'll test it in about 10-15 minutes. So one thing I'll say is that before I started doing any plumbing, I used to be frightened because I thought cuts needed to be so precise and I needed to have the whole plan laid out before I even started working. Yeah, in reality, you just cut and see what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. You kind of went through all that process with me, of me just figuring out what we need to do, and we did it. We're here now. So if you're kind of scared of doing it, just do it, because honestly, that's the only way you are going to learn. So I don't know how I got all this dirt in here, but let's get ready to go. All right, let's test it out. We're gonna focus right now on our plumbing here. And well, actually we don't even need to focus on the plumbing. If the pump primes up without any issue and primes up correctly without too much air bubbles coming in, we know we fixed the problem. All right, perfect, we're good to go. What would happen before is we would have a bunch of air bubbles coming in through here. We'd have a lot more air in here than what we even see right now. There's barely anything in here, maybe coming from the lid O-ring, but everything looks. Now when a pump runs and it won't prime, sometimes they will stop automatically to protect themselves from overheating, but when the pump doesn't stop itself, that's when it becomes an issue, because things can start to melt. Some of the things that can melt is the pump basket itself. It's made out of plastic. Sometimes we'll open the pumps and we'll find those are completely melted and warped. Other times it's the seals within the pump itself. And when the seals go bad, and now all of a sudden you have to take the pump apart. You have to take the diffuser off, take the impeller off, and make sure you swap all those seals. So rather than putting all this strain on a pump, if we notice an issue with priming, well, what we rather do is fix it as soon as possible. So that's what we're doing here. It's gonna be a pretty peculiar job because plumbing is very tight, but it shouldn't be a big deal. We'll figure it out.